Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review and reviewing another film for reviewing another 20th anniversary movie review is to be fact. And I managed to get the DVD. I haven't seen in a long time, but managed to get the DVD and give it another look. And this came out. Another film came out in 1997, so we're reviewing for for its 20th anniversary. So this time, for this review, the 20th anniversary review is the 1997 film Spawn, based on a comic book series created by Todd McFarlane. Now, I can already say that I haven't read the comics on Spawn. My brother, he does have the first appearance of the very first issue of Spawn. He does have that, but I don't think he has read the series as well. So I didn't grow up with Spawn. I didn't read the comics. Just only saw the film. But I don't know much about the character himself, the Spawn. So now the film came out during the summer, in August. It had competition like it had competition like the action film Air Force One, which I revisited for another 20th anniversary film I revisited. Because that was at the time it was making the money. But the film, you can say it did well. On its budget of $40 million, domestically it made 54. And then worldwide it made at least about 87 million. But it wasn't that big of it was a success though, but it wasn't that huge. Now, nowadays, nowadays don't hardly talk about the character of Spawn. And honestly, though, which at the time that after all these years with the Marvel films and now the DC films, you would think that they would get a reboot of this. This would be a superhero film that could use a reboot, I would say. But with this film, it's a film that to me that didn't age well for the past over 20 years. Time it didn't age well. The film overall doesn't hold up today. I mean, the film stars Michael Jai White as Al Simmons, aka Spawn. I like Michael Jai White as an actor, especially he shows us some of his martial arts stuff that he does in films, and I like Michael Jai White as an actor. I would still say that he is doing the best he can acting wise. I think he is good for what he has to do, and I do like another thing is that for the supporting cast, also co-stars you have John Leguizamo, who plays the clown or the violator, and you have Martin Sheen, plays a character named Jason Wynn. Nicol Williamson as this guy who is named Colostrio. What's the name? Theresa Randle plays Al Simmons' supposed wife, former wife, would say. And you got D.B. Sweeney, who I mostly remember when he voiced Aladar in Disney's Dinosaur. He's been in other films, but I mostly remember his voice role from Disney's Dinosaur as Aladar. And it was directed by a guy named Mark A.Z. Dippe, or Dippe, or Dip. I don't know if his name is pronounced. It's more like Dip, or Dipe, whatever. He's a guy who is he's been known as a visual effects supervisor. So this is his first film directing, and not only for the directing, he also helped do a screenplay. Well, there's two people who help write the film. Besides Mark A.Z. Dippe. Another guy who is named by the name of Alan B. McElroy. This is a guy who's a writer who wrote some films that I like. Like he wrote a Wrong Turn, the first Wrong Turn film. Well, he had some based on characters from the sequels of the Wrong Turn films, but he wrote on the first Wrong Turn. Then he was a writer on Ballistic, X vs. Sever. Oh, sorry. Which a lot of people hate. Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers, I enjoy. Tekken, which was a film which is based on a video game. I actually like Tekken. He also wrote on The Marine. There was one with John Cena. And he also helped write on Rapid Fire with Brendan Lee. So I like Halloween 4. I like Tekken. I like Rapid Fire. Wrong Turn. So, but besides him, and then Mark A.Z. Dippe helped write with the guy with the story. Now, I also wish Todd McFarlane had been the executive producer on this film. Overall, for the film, I think I felt I was very bored with the film. So yeah, I thought the film was. Reason why a film that didn't hold up as 20 years later, it's boring. I mean, maybe it's because I'm not a huge fan of Spawn. Never read the comics. Maybe, but I thought the film was very boring. I saw a long time ago and I forgot about it though, and rewatching it again, I can see why the film didn't hold up that well. Especially the visual effects. That definitely, I would say, did not hold up after 20 years. Well, I'll get into that though, but I mean, all the action scenes in the film weren't much. It was like, bleh, basically. Okay, so alright, like that. It's the sort of tone I'm making. It's just like, okay, wasn't much. That's nothing memorable about the action sequences. I mean, Michael Jai White. His overall performance I like. Because I like Michael Jai White, and I really like the costume, the design of Spawn. Like that's a cool. I would say that's definitely a cool looking costume. Remember the face does look like what it is from the comics. It is definitely a cool costume. I will give that. I think also help on the makeup effects as well. I think it was done by Greg Nicotero's group. Greg Nicotero who helped Robert Kurtzman. Help do on the Walking Dead, the makeup effects and stuff like that. It was in the credits. Their names are on there. Greg Nicotero was a group called Can B. I mean the makeup effects. What you see right there are Michael Jai White. The makeup effects does look really well done. Especially, if it's with Can B, doing the makeup effects and other things. Especially also with John Leguizamo's, the clown makeup and stuff. But I guess especially the makeup effects on Michael Jai White does look good. As for the supporting cast members, there really overall was not much about them either. I mean, Michael Jai White is the only one that I can root for. John Leguizamo as the clown, he was just like very campy, over the top, especially with his performance, and I like John Leguizamo as an actor. Performance wise, I would say he had a much better performance in Super Mario Brothers than in this film. I just couldn't get into his villain, as a clown, which it is in the comics because, like I said, I haven't read the comics, so. I had to look this stuff up, see if there's any references. So apparently the clowns in the comics, the Jason Wynn guy, Martin Sheen's character, and the guy Terry that D.B. Sweeney's playing, those are all the comic characters. So yeah. So, but I just thought, and I just thought it was this very boring superhero film. And the fact is also it didn't help much because which is funny is that the film is rated R. Right there. This is a film that's easily could have been PG-13 because not once I hear an F-bomb. Not once. I mean, the character of the Violator, he's a character that could say a lot of F-bombs, but he didn't. Never once he said an F-bomb. So I don't know why this film could have been R-rated because the action wasn't much. There was not, like, no bloody or gory kills. There wasn't much about the kills, so this, especially with the film's tone and action and no good deaths, this could have been very easily a PG-13 film instead of being R-rated. So yeah. But the film is that, you get this narration by the character of Cogalestro, which, to be honest, there was no need for a narration. But he's saying that Al Simmons, played by Michael Jai White, he was a Marine, he was like a Marine guy, and he's an assassin. He was gonna take on this mission. His mission to first opens up with him at this airport where he destroys his planes and people, but there was also innocent people that he didn't want killed that were involved in it. He had one target though, but innocent people got killed as well. And Martin Sheen, as this guy Wynn, talking with the clown, John Leguizamo. I mean, the whole thing was this plan with John Leguizamo. He wants to get this. He wants like the guy who's like the devil down in hell named Melda Bolgia to get this guy who is his new spawn to raise his army and destroy the world. And Michael Jai White, he wants out for the last mission, but Martin Sheen wants him to do those last one, which he agrees to, and which is at this plant. But he realizes it's been set up by Martin Sheen and this woman named Priest. Shoots him, then tosses liquid on him and sets him on fire. And then he gets sent to hell, and we find out that five years has passed since the time he's been dead. And when he comes back, burned, his face is all messed up, which is good looking makeup effects. The clown shows him flashbacks of what happened after he died. That his friend Terry D.B. Sweeney has married his wife and have a daughter named Cyan, I think. And it shows him you are now Spawn to help raise the devil's army. But if he does this, if he raises the army, he'll get to have Wanda back again. And he said he agrees to it. So he comes back to Earth, and he goes which he has been dead for 5 years, so he goes to his grave, digs his own body up, and then it's when he gets the costume, the armor. It's the Spawn armor. And he scares some punks that are in the graveyard. He goes well, he goes back to his old house was, where his wife now has a family with his friend, her new husband, which is the guy D.B. Sweeney, and a daughter. Tries to talk, but scaring him. And which is funny that the little girl, she's not even scared. She doesn't question but the guy who has a mess of face and not even scared. Like he couldn't do. You know, this guy has a mess of face and probably it could be like a violent person, but she's not. He's like okay, not scared by this guy. Even the Violator is there as posing as a regular clown. And when he's back in this alley, there's this little kid, homeless kid, which is actually played by Miko Hughes. This is a boy. This kid when he was a boy, he was like in Stephen King's Pet Sematary. He was in Kindergarten Cop as that little boy. You know, he's playing but the like oh a little girl has a vagina. That little boy in Kindergarten Cop. And he was also in Mercury Rising, the kid that Bruce Willis was looking after with the autistic kid. And also Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So this kid, I recognize him. So he's just this homeless kid. And meets with first he talks to the... Oh, I keep on yawning. But, he encounters the Nicol Williamson, talks to him a bit, and he goes after Martin Sheen at this party, and when he comes to the window, there's glass in the roof, and you see his cape. Now that's the one I guess is the CGI in this film. It looks very bad in this film. 20 years later, because at the time it was in 1997, though. 20 years later, the effects definitely does not hold up. I would definitely say that. Especially when his cape comes to his CGI cape, it looks very horrible. And you think now the cape was horrible, but the whole hell design of hell when they go into hell, god awful. It looks so bad. All the CG, it's CGOD, you know, for hell. It's CGI overload for hell. It's just nothing but a big green screen. It's very bad. And he gets Martin Sheen throws him. Finally, that's Al Simmons. Even the D.B. Sweeney bounce out. That's him too. Then she gets a shootout with the female woman priest, but then she shoots her. Not even a bloody. She has a gunshot to the head, but not like no blood squib or anything. Just boom, falls down. I thought that would be like, you know, since she works for Martin Sheen, she'd be much more of a villain that lasts more into the film, but no, just shoots her and dead, and that's it. And then he tries to elude the police. He's on the roof. He's climbing on the walls. He gets his cape to like blend in with the building. The police couldn't find him, but when he unreveals himself, he missteps, and you know, because you know how sometimes when you step down, sometimes you step on a chunk of concrete or rock, whatever, and it breaks. He stupidly breaks a piece, and it reveals himself again, and then he flies away in his CGI cape. So then he talks with John Leguizamo again, and then when he talks with the kid Cyan, and which again she's not scared of the guy, even though for a guy who really has a mess of face. But you know, tells him his name is Spawn, and she's like cool. And then you see John Leguizamo the clown. He's in a cheerleading outfit. You know, Spawny. I mean, I'm like, come on. I will say that John Leguizamo looks like he's having fun in the role, but he's just way too campy and over the top. But when they look at the film, when John Leguizamo's performing, it looks like he is having fun with the film, acting it. When he first would meet with Spawn, he's talking about he has fart jokes, which once again I hate fart jokes. You know, there's another one. For one fart, then you get another one where he's saying, what was this like? Because even pulls out his freaking underwear, like, oh, skid marks, you know, and I hate shit jokes and I hate fart jokes. And then he even does a double fart. He's like, oh, twins. And he goes and eats a pizza with maggots. Or another says he's eating worms. He's dipping into mayonnaise. I mean, this. I mean, the makeup of him of the clown and making him short. I know John was not a tall guy though, but much shorter than he is as a clown. I mean, the costume design and the makeup is not that bad though, but it's just how he delivers and performance-wise. I just think he was just way too campy. I know this is because they try to make this like a I think it's, what the comics are, it's supposed to be a dark series, and they try to make the film like a dark tone film, like a DC film though. But when you add this type of humor, because you get a humor where he meets with the clown again, he fights him as a violator, and he has his dog, and he's like, "Put down my dog." I mean, we have a line like that when we try to make a dark, serious film, and you get jokes like fart jokes and shit jokes, and then "Put down my dog." It's just. I mean, are you trying to be like an R-rated, trying to make it R-rated dark film though? But you having all these jokes in there and acting like it is not at the same time, not treating it like it's a dark film, like a lighter. But if you get what I mean, you know, you get what I'm saying. But I can't describe what. Try to describe it the best I can, but if you all get what I'm saying, it tries to be a dark film, but at the same time it's not, because you can be adding like the humor and certain other elements into it. But there's a case where he fights a violator when he's like in this demon form. I mean, the CG is not much though, but you also get it when it's up close, when it's fighting Spawn, like a hold when he grabs him. You do get up close practical effects as well, which I surprisingly appreciate, because with all this heavy CG, I thought there would go no practical stuff besides the Spawn costume and the makeup effects. But you do see an up close practical violator and a couple of quick shots, which is like, okay, I appreciate some of the practical stuff. So it wasn't totally all CG. Well, it's only when the wide shots it is. So. Or Crystal Pepsi. And then it kills that homeless kid, Miko Hughes' father. It just picks him up and throws him. And then he gets away. And then he talks with Nicol Williamson about, you know, how you can concentrate, you know, with your armor, you know. Just relax, concentrate. You know, get the spikes coming out of his costume, or control your the chains he has. And also after with Martin Sheen, which this character is an idiot, which because after the incident with the party, he talks with the clown again, and. Because he wants to make this biological weapon, this virus called Heat 16, and again something that can wipe out the whole, wipe out countries and stuff, and when he's in danger, you know, and the clown, he says, you know, put a detonator next to your heart, and if he kills you, the weapons will go off. And then Martin Sheen goes, I like that, okay. So he stupidly just like, I love the fact he doesn't question. He's like, wait, a detonator next to my heart? But no, he automatically says yes, and has to put it in him. And Martin Sheen is a good actor. Is a good actor. I like Martin Sheen, but this is absolutely nothing to his character. Sad to say. He was pretty much like a nothing villain. But so he has a pudding in him, and which at the same time, we found that the Violator, he's clown. He's playing both Spawn and Win, Martin Sheen. So, sorry. So after the thing with the train with the chains, he goes to his house because that's where the well actually no because he gets into a motorcycle chase with the Violator, and I thought okay he uses his cape to cover himself in the motorcycle. It becomes like this armor motorcycle. It looks like it is a very good practical looking motorcycle. It's like a demon type of Spawn look to it though. For the design of it, I liked. It was like practical and good looking. And then John Leguizamo, he uses this liquid, makes him slip and fall, and he's gonna run him over. Then Spawn uses his cape to make this like a big huge spike and and the truck runs into it. Good explosion of the vehicle exploding. Good explosion. But then he like flies away from the explosion to see what Juan does. So Martin Sheen goes to his house because D.B. Sweeney finds out what Martin Sheen's been up to. He stole a disc, and he managed to email it to the news people before Martin Sheen shoots the computer. So he takes the family hostage, and he goes to the house and he finds that Martin Sheen's there and holding his former wife hostage. Stabs her, but what you find out it's really the clown playing with the guy, messing with him, and then he uses his magical eye beams, his green eye beams to get the detonator out of Martin Sheen without like putting a hole through him. He just like magically he makes the thing go like like how a ghost would go through walls and all inanimate objects, stuff like that. He uses his glowing eye beams, bad CGI though, to magically pull the thing out of Martin Sheen and then break it. Now I don't know like like I said, I don't know much about the comics. I don't know all his superpowers and all that stuff, so I don't know much anything about that. If it's in the comic books, okay, but this the CGI eye beams, the effects in the film doesn't look. It's very bad. 20 years later, it's a film on effects that did not age well. It didn't. And then the clown is there. Then Nicol Williamson gets there. He's in his Crusader outfit because he was like one like from 500 years ago. So they both go into hell. Now, like I said, CGI overdose, I would say. And they fight the Violator in his demon form. It's just how the way when they're being pushed around and they're all this green screen, it's like and it's like all green screen. It's just it looks horrible. Well, it looks horrible when everything is the whole entire background is CG'd. It looks horrible. And then Michael Jai White, he gets this thing, a spike on a fist, and stabs in the neck, and it's green glow, and then all of a sudden, poof. And then they go back to the house through the dimensional portal, or whatever. And the wife is there still, but the Violator is still not done. Still comes back and attacks Spawn. He's like getting like up in its mouth, and he says, "Bite this," and stabs like through the thing's head, and uses chains to act like a sawing blade and cut the head off. And the Violator's the clown's head is there. Says, "Oh, you'll pay for this," and then his head melts. Bad CG. And then that kid, Miko Hughes, brings back the dog named Spaz. Which is supposedly it was named after the visual effects supervisor Steve Spaz Williams. So that's what they named the dog after, Spaz. that guy. And also yeah, which is another thing. Like I said, it's trying to be a dark film, but you have this with his relationship with his dog. Listen, give me back my dog. And the dog's, so the kid he ran away because the clown was about to eat him, I would say. But the kid found him, brings it back, and says he has no other place. Finally puts his let his family, his wife be, and which I don't think the wife never knew that was her dead husband, because D.B. Sweeney, he knew, because at the party when Martin Sheen said his name, so he knew about it, but he never told his wife, Michael Jai White's former wife, about that was him. So she never knew. So I guess she never knew that was his dead husband. That was her first dead husband. I guess D.B. Sweeney decided not to tell. Why? You think that is, well, because the show flashback is Michael Jai White had flashbacks at times with his wife, and I love you and all that stuff. So, but doesn't want to put him in danger anymore. So that's why they didn't want to tell the wife. So yeah, then the film ends with him standing on the roof of the church, and that's it. And Martin Sheen gets arrested. So that's it. So yeah, this film could say nowadays, this film can now at least get a reboot, And which actually, speaking of reboots, I was looking up. I guess at the Comic-Con of this year that Tom McFarlane has signed on to direct, and it's now gonna be within the company Blumhouse. Blumhouse that made all those horror films like the Purge films and the Insidious films, and So I guess we are. Well, after all these years, the thought of talking about there was years, there were going to be a sequel, but none of that ever got off the ground. But and also after all these years, never talked to get a reboot. But I guess we are, because it said that Todd McFarlane said he signed on to a direct with Blumhouse. So I guess we are, but after 20 years, I think it's too late for a reboot. Could have opportunities like for a few years ago though, but we'll have to see though, because even if the new reboot comes out, is anyone ever gonna care to see Spawn? Because nowadays, I don't think people talk about Spawn nowadays. But yeah. So it's a film that I thought was just boring, because none of the action scenes were great or memorable. There was a couple of things I said positively, but that does not save the film. Michael Jai White I like though, but he's acting the best he can. I like the costume look. That's definitely a cool costume. Looks like it is from the comics, especially the face, the mask, But the CGI cape and the hell is CGI overload. Definitely did not age well after 20 years. It looks horrendous. I mean, there even CG around that time, like the next year, 1998. Those two films right behind me, Deep Rising and Godzilla, those are CGI I can tolerate, because I like both films. I know the CG. I know for especially Deep Rising, the monster. I know it's from 1998, but the CGI I can handle better, and same with Godzilla. But Godzilla had a lot of good mixture of practical effects in that film as well. Wasn't all totally 100% CG, but there were very good mixture of practical effects, especially with the babies and the eggs and the animatronics. and sometimes you get up close up. When the cab was inside Godzilla's mouth, the mouth closing in on them, or a real claw going to the ship at the beginning of Godzilla. So yeah, Godzilla that had more practical effects, and the CGI I would say overall was good for the wide shots of Godzilla. So those two, I would say, those are definitely much better films, and those people don't like those films. Definitely a lot better than this, and Michael Jai White has done better. His better films I like better, like Blood and Bone, or his villainous role in Universal Soldier: The Return. John Leguizamo, I like him though, but it's just I couldn't get into this villain. It looked like I said, it looked like he was having fun playing the role, but I preferred his performance as Luigi in Super Mario Brothers. Sad to say, or another films that he starred in. Martin Sheen was a nothing villain. Just basically a bland villain. And the lines of dialogue, especially coming from the clown, I did not like, especially the fart jokes and the shit jokes, and the cheerleader, class Spawny, one, whatever. The design of Hell was just bad. I mean, if I want to see a better interpretation of Hell, I'd rather watch Constantine. That was a good looking Hell. In which I would even say that film was better than this. Again, that's another film that a lot of people don't like, is Constantine. And that's a DC hero that I like. But I'm just saying, because between what design of Hell would you like more? You like this design from this one, or the one in Constantine? I would rather pick Constantine. So yeah, and Roger Ebert even he gave this film 3.5 out of 4 stars, and he said that as a visual experience, Spawn is unforgettable. Well, I guess at the time it was a visual experience, but 20 years later, not so much. I'll probably say if Roger Ebert was still alive today, he would probably look back at this film 20 years ago and say, "Yeah, I would rather take that back. The CG does not. It's not a visual experience now." So I'd probably say Spawn is unforgettable. I'd rather say Spawn is forgettable. I'm saying if Roger Ebert was alive today, I'm sure he would have second thoughts after 20 years later on what he thinks on this film. So yeah. But and the score wasn't much. It was it's by Graham Lavelle, which he's done better scores than other movies I've seen. It's not much the score, and the song choices. I think there was a Marilyn Manson song in there. I didn't notice because I was so busy being so bored with the film. So I didn't really pay much attention. I think there was a Marilyn Manson score in there. This guy with Martin A.Z. Dippe, I don't think, he's a visual effects supervisor, but I think it's the wrong choice. He should stick with just being a supervisor for visual effects, not directing a film like this, because the action sequences was not memorable or great at all, so he couldn't direct action scenes. So wrong choice of director. Could have had a better director to direct this film. So yeah, with Michael Jai White, the costume and the vehicle explosion, and what else was there? Anything else I liked about it? Not much. I mean, the poster. I would say that it's a good looking poster. It looked like something that it looked like from the comic books, but it was just a boring movie. And the film has a lot of features on this thing. R-rated widescreen, converted high definition, transferred to film. Commentary with creator Todd McFarlane, the director and producer Clint Goldman, visual effects supervisor Steve Spaz Williams. Interview with Todd McFarlane, behind the scenes making of Spawn featurette. Spawn sketch gallery with over 200 original concept illustrations, scene to storyboard comparisons, original never before seen Todd McFarlane sketches, the trailer, filter and crystal meth music videos. I guess there are songs that were in this film. I wasn't paying attention. And the film is on for about 96 minutes, but it was just too slow for me at this point. If I would see for a person who's come back to life, in a supernatural way, I'd rather watch The Crow with Brendan Lee, much better movie. Or better interpretation of hell, I'd rather watch Constantine. Those two I'd rather watch over this. Or for early comic book films, I'd rather watch Blade, because that came out the next year after this film. I'd rather watch that Blade is a much better movie than this. Wesley Snipes kicking vampire ass. So yeah. And also one thing I forgot to mention about with the devil looking thing. Now the CG was horrible looking though, but its mouth was open all the time. Again, and it spoke, but its mouth was open the whole time. So how can it speak with like this? I couldn't do it with my mouth open, but it spoke with the whole time with its mouth open. I'm like, how does that work? So yeah, that's another bad thing about it. It's just talking with its mouth open, and its mouth doesn't move when it's open. It doesn't go, no, like this. So yeah. 20 years later, the special effects movie event of the year. Not really. Yeah, I'm saying the 20. And it's also funny. This cover here, it has a practical looking cape though, but in the film there is no practical cape. It's all a bunch of CGI capes. But like I said, I still like the costume design. I'll still give it that though. But it's a film that doesn't hold up well 20 years later. Sad to say. If they're gonna do a reboot, I think it's too late for a reboot because people. Within 20 years later, does anyone ever talk about Spawn anymore? I'm sure people have forgotten about the movie, but well, what can I say? If they want to do they're going to do this new one. What can I say? But I'm talking about this film. 20 years later, it didn't age or hold up well. Especially the effects is very horrible looking. Definitely doesn't hold up well today. Yeah, so yeah, but like I said, I never read the comic book series. I wasn't all too familiar with the character of Spawn. I only remember because of the design. I only remember this character because the design look of the character and the name. I don't know much about his superpowers with all the chains and his glowing eye beams and shooting them out. There's also another thing in the whole. One thing, especially the eye beams, I forgot to say in the hell when he's in hell, he kills all these hell spawns with his eye beams. It looks awful too. And I'm freezing around why my nose is running. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm allergic to bullshit like this. But yeah. But that's all I have to say. I don't want to go too long on this though. But yeah. It's not. The film didn't age well 20 years later, so yeah. But oh well. So I might watch more. I can say about the film anymore, but hope hope you enjoyed this. The 20th anniversary review of Spawn. It's a boring movie. It's slow. CG overload. But yeah. But if other people like the film and are fans of the character, that's fine. But Like I said, I didn't know much about the character or the comics. And also, it could have been easily PG-13 because there was not much. There was nothing R-rated about it. There was no bunch of F-bombs or blood or gore or anything about that, or bloody kills. Not much for kills either. So I don't know why this is R-rated either. Could have easily been PG-13. And like I said about the tone of the film, it tries to be a dark film, but all the shit jokes are bad humor. So does not mix well. So hope you like my 20th anniversary movie review of this film, a rant, sadly, of Spawn. Not my film. After seeing this again after all these years, I can definitely see why it didn't hold well today. But yeah, but people who like the film, no judge against you, but not for me though. But at least I had it, just to give it another watch again. So yeah, hope you like. Yeah. Oh, listen here. 20th anniversary movie review of Spawn. No go for me. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.